Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Slansky, let me follow up on where the chairman left off with regards to responsiveness and where Mr. Conley of Virginia, because the indication that you have given this committee is that you're doing all that you possibly can, as fast as you possibly can, to comply with the subpoena. Is that your sworn testimony here today?
We are working as quickly as we were able to review the documents and produce them for the committee.
Okay.
If you can please move that microphone just a little bit closer.
So
Thank
can you,
Better?
Yes.
Can you explain to the committee why the initial request that I made of you for documents, why it required a subpoena to get you to comply? Because when we look at it, there were only 47 unique documents that we couldn't find online that you gave this committee between the initial response and June 4th. Only 47 that weren't found online, and that's one every other day. Is that the best you can do?
When we started our production, we wanted to start with the material that was responsive, but that would be publicly available, not necessarily.
In what realm would you think that this committee would ask you for documents that are publicly available?
Well, some of
If we can go online, we don't need your staff to do that. We can find it. Why would we ask for that?
And very quickly thereafter, in our second production, we had documents that were certainly non-public, and we were in the process of preparing a substantial additional document.
Okay, you've given this committee a little over 1,300 documents that are unique in a year's time. 1,300, 3 a day. Is that the best that your staff can do? Is that the best that you can do? 3 a day.
We have been working very hard.
That's not the question. You're giving an answer to a question. Is that the best? Yes or no? Is it the best you can do?
We have been doing the best we can after what we have acknowledged, Mr. Meadows, was a slow start.
Slow start. You got a subpoena and you didn't do anything for 4 months. That's not a slow start, Mr. Slansky. That's a no start.
It's not true that we didn't do anything, sir. The beginnings of a response to a subpoena first involved the search for the documents.
Okay, stop right there. So you got the search for the documents. What is that universe?
Again,
Because we have to know the universe in order for there to be a search. What was the universe?
are you referring to the number of documents?
Yeah, the universe.
I don't know what the number of documents.
All right, you've given me 100% of your documents, according to your testimony.
My documents have been turned over. My documents were produced in the second documents of mine. I mean, I think my
Have they been turned over to the committee, 100% of your documents?
I think there are probably more of my documents that are being reviewed. I can't sit here today and tell you that 100.
Well, then how can you say that nothing has been given or held back from this committee? Because your testimony is, you've testimony that 100% of your documents have been turned over. How many does that include?
My documents were included, documents of mine, including documents that we were told were of greatest interest to this committee, were turned over in our second production prior to the subpoena.
Let me stop you because you're mischaracterizing.
Okay.
6 months, we allowed you to prioritize. That did not come from this committee. That came from your staff in conjunction with this committee. We allowed you to start with the first 6 months. So out of the 6 months of documents that you're about to talk about, what is the universe? How many total documents?
I do not know, sir, what the total.
So it's taken a year, and you still don't know how many documents.
Because our review is ongoing, the search terms were very, very broad, and when a lot
Mr.
of the documents.
Slansky, all right, let me stop you again.
Trying to answer.
1 year, we need to know how many documents are you reviewing? What is the universe of that? You only have 45 employees. I could probably come into your office and figure out the universe for the last 6 months within a few days.
The search terms that we've been using, and we have advised your staff of what those search terms are very broad. In addition to the search that each person in OIRA has done, there are electronic searches that are run on all of these documents, and I do not know the full number of documents that electronic search has turned
But
over.
Mr. Slansky, you and 2 other of your senior OIRA officials have said that you've turned over 100% of your documents. You can't have it both ways. Either you turned over 100% and we know the number, or you haven't turned over 100% or that testimony is false. Which is it?
So I want to make very clear what my testimony is, since I don't know what testimony you're referring to of the other OIRA officials. My testimony is that of the documents of mine that have so far been reviewed for production to the committee, they have gone to you unredacted, and there is no document that is identified by this committee that we have said we would not produce.
So do you know how many documents you've turned over? The number?
I know that the total number of pages we've turned over to this.
No, you're 100%. How many is that? 5,000, 15,000, how many?
I'm talking about the documents that we have reviewed and turned over to the committee so far, more than 6,400 pages.
Mr. Shalansky, let me close with this. I am frustrated with your inability to answer questions that we've asked over and over and over. And you're here for sworn testimony today. These questions should not be a surprise to you. If you can't answer them, then say that you're not intending to answer them, so we'll know to take the appropriate. But we keep asking. I asked in October, 5 months. It's a simple question. Can you not answer the question here today? Are you not prepared to answer it?
Mr. Meadows, I've been trying as sincerely as I can to answer your questions. When I can't answer the question, don't know the answer, I've told you that. When I've tried to make clear exactly what my answer is, for example, my documents are being reviewed under the same standards as every...
How many of documents are there?
Of my total documents, since I don't...
How many total documents have you turned over?
And again, I have made clear to you that I don't know the answer to what...
Mr. Chairman,
is.
this witness is being unresponsive, and I think we need to deal with it appropriately. I yield back.
I agree.